we look the same. We're both points of light. And Pretty is and Faith is, we're all points of light. And so we just focus gently, keep the eyes open, and we're going to hear this commentary. It's from a CD called God, the God CD, and it's about solutions. Here? And straight, gently focus on the point of light.
Take a deep breath in and let it out, allowing your body to relax. As you prepare your mind for your meditation experience, take in another deep breath and let it out, enjoying the feeling of peace that is growing from within. Take in another deep breath as you invite God to be with you, and let it out as you release any feelings of being not good enough. As you continue to relax, let a question form in your mind about something in your life that is concerning you at the moment. Perhaps a situation that is troubling you. Perhaps a relationship that is in conflict. An issue for which you require clarity. A problem which you would like to solve. Something you feel guilty about. Or perhaps a challenge facing you. Take a moment to bring your question into focus so that you can see it for what it is. It may become clearer for you if you view the scene in your mind as if you were watching a movie about your life. This will help you to detach a little and see the whole picture without letting the emotions run away with you. Continue to relax and check that your breathing is slow and steady. Knowing that there is always a solution, you relax even more. You are a soul on a journey through life, and situations and circumstances come to teach you, come to make you strong. Your source of strength and guidance is God, the all-powerful and wise one. Knowing that if you continue to do what you've always done, then nothing can change, you relax even more into peace. mind to the presence of God, your teacher, your guide. You are seeking solutions, and you will find what you seek. Imagine that God is a bright star directly in front of you, pulsating with power and goodness. As clearly as you can, present your question to God through thoughts, feelings, pictures in your mind. Now, ask to be shown or told what spiritual power or virtue will help you resolve your question. Let God be your guide in this. It may be that you require courage or patience, the power to let go or the power to tolerate. You may need to forgive or be determined or honest, respectful or generous. With faith and trust in who you are with, and knowing that the solution may not be what you expected, relax and allow your answer to become clear to you now. Remembering that you can only change yourself, not other people. It's okay to be uncertain of what this answer means. And trust that something will come of it. Now is the time to strengthen this power or virtue in you. Ask God, the source of all powers and virtues, to do this for you, to empower you spiritually. Refocus your mind on the bright star in front of you. Let God fill you with the power, the virtue. All you have to do is receive it, absorb it. Be open to God's energy, strengthening your own powers and virtues. receiving the help of God. I am filling with God's power, God's virtue. With this energy from God, what was difficult before becomes easier. I will use this spiritual solution. With thanks for all that you have received, prepare yourself to return to your day's activity by taking in a deep breath and letting it out as you feel your life energy reaching into your fingers and toes. Take in another deep breath and let it out as you wonder what will change as a result of this. And feel a sense of optimism as you watch for something new to unfold in your life.
Did you like that? That's one that you can play as much as you want, and it just puts you in that receptive mode for listening to the Supreme. And it's very calming. It's very calming. So now, if you look at the cycle, you'll see in the Copper Age, each of the religious founders came down. And so they put a slightly different angle on life. But each time they're saying about being kind, being merciful, the same virtues. So different people will come under each one, and that it'll help their life. So we feel that the Supreme Soul sent each of them down at their time in their country where they came to help lift the earth to a higher level, because it was starting to get down, starting to be crimes and, bad things happening. And so each one served their purpose of lifting people up. So any question that you'd like to ask about the cycle? Oh, very good. Welcome. Lovely. So any questions?
Sorry, I'm late. I was stuck with another meeting which just completed. Sorry.
That's all right. We're happy to have you. So any questions that you'd like to ask about the cycle? But we went down Allura last week and talk about things repeating identically. There was just green leaves on the trees, no blossom. And the next day when we went, every tree in every street was full of pink blossom. We couldn't understand, how can it be one day this and the next day that, and how come all the trees are identically in the same time and everything. It was like a miracle. But they say that the roots of the tree actually communicate with other roots of other trees. Have you heard of that? I hadn't heard of it before, but that's what they say. The roots actually, in their own way, communicate with other roots, and somehow they all know this is the day when we come out with the pink blossom. And now we went, and all the pink blossom is gone. There's none left, not one tree with it left. Street after street, it's all gone. And the green leaves. So it looks like a miracle, but it's just that they know what they have to do and when they have to do it. So it's a very interesting thing. Yes.
Faith is saying she have a question.
Yes, Faith.
Okay.
She has very good questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just a little bit confused. So if nothing changes, so either soul, each incarnation is exactly the same. How can I? So it doesn't matter what I do, nothing's going to change.
But you know, it's every 5,000 years, so it's such a long time. It's we don't have to think like that. Like what we can think of is last time, 5,000 years ago, I made a decision which helped my life. and which helped my family and all around me. And then we can meditate and think, okay, Shiv Baba, the Supreme, what was it that I did? And we'll get the point, I stopped criticizing and my life changed. We get a touching. That's what happened 5,000 years ago. It's such a long time ago, we can't really remember. But if we sit in meditation and link with the Supreme, something might come to us, you know? But because we don't remember, it's like, it's not that it's that we can't improve. It's just to remember that last time we improved.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make
So
sense?
this time I can connect with Baba and make even more better choices and improve more.
Yes, I can improve more than where I'm up to now, but it'll be the same as what I did 5,000 years ago, but I can't remember that long ago, you know, 5,000 years ago, but I trust that I will be touched by the Supreme and I will come up with the right thing to do. And that's where I said before, it's not the most important thing what we do. The most important thing is with what virtue we do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you listen to the tapes and if you read the books and if you think about virtues, it'll naturally come. It won't be a hard effort. It won't be a hard thing. You know, instead of criticizing someone, I'll have mercy. You know, or instead of swearing or saying anything nasty, I'll say something kind. You know, that'll be the decision. It won't be like whether I go to Adelaide or whether I go to Perth or whether I go to the UK. There won't be decisions like that. It'll be how I do it. With what heart, what sort of heart I do it. And not out of compulsion, you know, I should do this or I should do that, but I want to. I want to be happy and I want to make others happy like that.
Yeah, thank you, Sal.
So is that making sense to Pretty? Good. And Kalyani?
Yeah,
Any questions?
a lot actually. One question is like, we always take birth, like as last time what we were discussing, some of the moments we really feel it happened previously with us. Like, so if you're acting the same thing, you're doing the same thing every, birth, how we can improve ourselves, because we're just doing, okay, same thing is happening, we're just recreating the space or recreating the, same situation. How could we change that in that case?
Well, we do change. We change from minute to minute. But because it's like a film, it's like a play. So if you watch a show, what's the name of the film? What's the name of the movie? Say The Wizard of Oz. Okay, you're watching that show, The Wizard of Oz. When you watch it, at each moment, Dorothy has to make a decision whether to listen to this one or that one, whether to go here or go there. But every time you play that movie, it's the same thing. She comes to that moment where she has to decide. But because she doesn't remember what happened last time, she has to think it out. It just happens that it'll be the same thing. But it's not, it doesn't make any difference to her having to think it through. I think don't worry too much about it because it's like a new experience. Every time anything happens, it's like a new experience. Like someone was talking to me on the phone just before this session, And I was thinking, are they going to finish so I'll be on time for the session? And I was sort of hoping that they would finish, and eventually they finished, and I was still on time and I came. But I didn't remember last time, 5,000 years ago, whether they finished the conversation on time. It's too long ago for me to remember. You know, it's a very, very long time. So that's how I can say I wasn't aware what would happen. And Sriram was very good. He came in and saying, Sally, you know, and it finished in time, everything was good. But neither of us remembered what happened 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not a thing to be concerned about or to worry about.
The reason why I've asked this question is if the things are repeating and if you're doing some mistake in my previous janma, what we said, previous birth, how to improve it from birth. The main reason why we are taking a birth because we want to improve in ourselves.
Yes.
And
So
it's like getting better and better. So how to analyze, okay, where we can get it better, okay, which situation should we make? Because currently I'm thinking at the how I'm not thinking okay what was happening. It's just like what is in front of me. I'm taking a decision, making act accordingly. So that
yes.
is the reason why I asked this question.
Yeah, it's a good
Would be
question.
relevant.
It's a good question. And the thing is that to be ready at each moment to do what is the best thing. It's like sometimes Baba says in the Murli, just think what's the next right thing to do. So if I'm in a situation and I'm just about to say something critical or criticizing that could hurt someone's heart, and I can stop for a minute, connect with the Supreme and think, what's the next right thing to do? And do it. You know, and I tell the story about my daughter-in-law because one of my grandchildren, he was wetting the bed. So instead of saying to him, you're a naughty boy, you wet the bed, you should control yourself, you should do like this, what she did is she put up on the board, on a board on the wall, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a little square underneath. And she said to my grandson, when you have a dry bed, tick that square. And so I came to visit and he called me, Nana, Nana, quickly, quickly, come and look at this. Dry bed, dry bed, dry bed. And so what she did is she encouraged him to do good instead of punishing him for doing bad. And so it worked out that it helped, you know? And so she didn't remember what happened 5,000 years ago, but it just happened that she was thinking good things, how to lift the child's self-respect rather than put him down. And so, this is how we can improve. And the fact that we improved 5,000 years ago is a good thing because that sort of makes me think, yes, I did something good. What was it? I don't remember what it was, but what can I do? Like I was thinking just a little thing on that phone conversation. I was thinking, in 1 second, I'm going to have to say to her, I have to go. If she doesn't finish this conversation, I can't keep it going more than 1 more minute. And lucky she finished it. So, but I was ready with to say, I'm sorry, I have to go now. So it's a matter of us wanting enough to improve is what will make us improve. And why we say remember the Supreme is because that's the only soul who never does anything wrong. He hasn't got a body of his own. He can't do anything wrong. It's not possible for him to do anything wrong. So if I link with that soul, I will get that wisdom. It will come from me because he says She makes it so interesting and so easy. All you have to do in any situation is remember God. That's all you have to do, and all that wisdom will come into you. So he makes it very easy. He says that's the only way to improve is to link with the Supreme. And then it'll be beautiful. It'll be like we feel free. We feel very good.
So I think Kalyaniji, you got your answer.
Yeah.
And Preeti, Faith, she was written something. Would you like to repeat that, Faith? What you wrote for Sally or for the group?
I think I've got it now. Yeah.
Or would like to share that with Sally?
Yeah. So the way I'm thinking is one cycle, one play is 5,000 years.
Yes.
And that movie plays out the way it is. But during that movie, I have a choice to connect with God and to bring more virtue into that play.
Perfect.
And so the next time that the cycle plays out, that new virtue is in the movie.
Perfect.
And then again, okay.
Perfect.
Thank
and
you.
people will acknowledge it in you. They'll say to you, you seem to be so much more patient, or you seem to be so much more tolerant than before. People will notice, sometimes more than you notice yourself. People will notice, and they'll think to themselves, if I would have said that to Faith, last year, she would have gone crazy or something. And look now, she's accepting me as I am, or something like that.
And
So,
Preeti is replying on that.
What does Preeti say?
I think the more you practice doing the right things,
Yes.
the next time you will be hopefully doing the current things, which is right.
Yes. Very good. Very good. So, in Hindu philosophy, they think that each age is hundreds of thousands of years, not 5,000 for the whole cycle, but they think each age is that hundreds of thousands. So it's a much longer span. But Baba says to us, no, it's just a mistake over the years and years. They've got it not correct that it's so long, that it's just 5,000 years. And sometimes archaeologists, they find fossils and things like that, and they say, oh, they're from hundreds of thousands of years ago, but a few weeks later they put in the paper, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, it's really only 2,000 years old, or something like that. And there's statues that were created in the beginning of Copper Age that are still around now. And friends of ours who went to Cambodia, they told us they came back with photos of these statues. They're tall, they're about 6 foot tall, and all of them are smiling. And so they were people making statues of, at that time, the people who were like deities, and they were always smiling. So we know somehow we did something right. If that's where we ended up, in the golden age, where whatever happened, we were smiling, there was no chance of us not being beautiful, because the beauty comes from within. And that smile comes from contentment and satisfaction that everything is right. So we can tell ourselves that. It doesn't matter which decision I make, I learned from it and I grew from it. And, it's a good thing. That's that song, somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. So to feel like that with my karma. So, okay, can each of you say something good that's happened in your life that shows at some stage you must have done something good? What do you share with us? What's something that's happened in your life that makes you know that somewhere, somehow you did something good?
Faith. It's quite a few, but I think what came to mind as soon as you said that was the relationship that I have with my partner, who's just a very beautiful soul. And prior to that, I didn't have very good relationships. And he came along and he's opened my heart again, and I can trust him. And yeah, I just think I did something good.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So that actually answers all those questions, doesn't it? Because you didn't remember what happened 5,000 years ago, but you must have done something good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like all my good karma came to me.
Yes. Yes. And the thing before was not bad karma. It was just lessons that needed to be learned. Don't think of anything as bad, but it's just they were just times when you had to work out how you wanted to be, what you wanted to do, what you wanted to look for.
Yes.
You know?
And I realized that they were all teaching me the importance of loving myself.
Yeah.
And then once I learnt that lesson, I was able to attract the same kind of love.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. What about you?
I don't know exactly, but one thing, like, I was gone through a difficult stage at one point of my life, and I've got a friends which I've been like in fact 1 month before, and they really helped me to come out of the difficult stage. So I will say, and during that time I was going to reading, like in Hindu we have a Vishnu Sahasranama book which has 1,000 name of Lord Vishnu. So I was just going reading every day. I felt that has really like helped me to interact with the good people who can help me out. And during that time, like, I'm a bit aggressive girl when I was in college and school. But this hard time has really made me to calm down, to realize what you're doing, the reciprocal of your acts or whatever you say. And this has also helped me to meet the good people who are no part of my life. Like, I'll just say, if they are not, I never met him, then I'm not here today. So you can say it's a good karma what I have done, or maybe like I have believed in a God which has resulted in this way. So I just think it's hard time is not exactly hard time. It's just a starting of a good time.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm not sure which answers or which gives what you're expecting from me, but I feel every hard time is you should not take it as a hard time. It's just a one light towards a good time which is coming and which is much better, beautiful than the hard time what you're going through.
That's lovely. Yes. And Pretty?
Yeah, she's sharing, Sally. Being where I am right now in my life, my mom had to deal with a lot when my dad passed away in a car accident. When we were quite young, however, I am blessed to be in a very good place.
That's lovely, Pretty. That's lovely. Very, very good. Yes. And with your father, what happens sometimes when someone leaves, our director, Dr. Nirmala, she told me this because my sister and brother-in-law were killed in a plane crash. And she told me that the soul actually leaves the body just a second before the accident. So they don't actually feel the accident. The soul knows that's what's coming and it just leaves that split second before and doesn't feel the shock. And what happened with me is my sister came to me, just her face, and she said to me, Sally, don't worry about me, I'm happy. And so I got on the phone to my younger sister and I said, you don't know what happened, you know? And my sister came, Grace, that she came to me and she was smiling and she said, don't worry, I'm fine, I'm happy. And my other sister, she said to me, she did exactly the same to me. She came to me and said exactly the same. So I knew it was true. I knew it wasn't my imagination or something. Exactly the same she did to both of us. So we realized that we don't know what's happening when someone leaves the body, but we can trust that nothing bad is happening. And it's people who leave the body for a second, like a friend of ours who comes here to meditate, she was having a baby, and before she gave birth to the baby, she died, you know, clinically. And she went to the top of the ceiling, and just the point of light, she was watching and she heard the doctors say she's gone. But she was in bliss. She was feeling so warm and happy and everything like that. But then she heard the doctor say, I don't think we can keep the child. I don't think the child can come out. It can't happen. And so quickly, in a second, she was back into the body and said, she's come alive again. You know, you've heard this happen before. It's, you know, happens a lot. And then they said, she's coming to life again. She's breathing. And they were able to help the child, the baby, to be born. And, you know, we know that her son now, we know him, that this has happened. And anyone who has a time when they leave the body and then come back, they all say they didn't want to come back. It was so warm and so loving. So we don't need to be afraid if anyone leaves the body, because we can't really say dies, because they come back as another baby. And they will probably come in the same family. If they have had good experiences and love their family, they probably will. And since my father left the body, we've had a lot of grandsons, and he could be any one of those grandsons. But, you know, we don't have to worry about that. We have to really trust that first, that they won't feel the pain of the accident. Second, that they'll feel love and warmth and everything from the Supreme Soul. And thirdly, they'll come back where near their loved ones. So all good things and all things that have been proven in many situations. So that's these things happen sometimes, but not necessarily because of a bad reason. My sister was a beautiful person. She didn't hurt anyone. So it's not as a punishment or anything. It's just in the drama what has to happen. Maybe they have to go into another body, there's things, but it's always something good. So any other questions about the drama or the tree? So Faith missed the tree one, we'll put it on.
I have one question.
Yes.
We are saying tree happens, whether there is any word known as a moksha, like there is no birth.
Well, there is actually birth, but there's no death. So we don't die, we just leave one body and come into the next.
So if keep on going, there is nothing, okay, there should be a rebirth. Every person has to take a rebirth. The cycle will go, keep on going.
But we don't know how long we're in the soul world. You see, when it comes the time for destruction, or you can say the cleansing of the earth, there will be fires, there will be tidal waves, there will be bombs, You know, just one bomb now could finish the whole world. The bombs that people have made, countries have made, uh, is enough to finish the whole world. But there'll be all other things, and this is in every religion. They say this. Um, but then we'll go to the soul world. We'll be in bliss in the soul world, just as a point of light. We'll be extremely happy and satisfied and everything. And when it's the right time, we'll come down to earth and take a baby body, the body of a baby. And in golden age and silver age, there'll be no illness. So no babies or no people will die. Everyone will live till 150 or something, and then just quietly shut their eyes and go into the next body. And so I heard in India where they understand about reincarnation, and the grandfather had left the body, and he was lying down on the ground, but he had passed. And the children who loved that grandfather so much, they were dancing, jumping over the body and dancing and singing, you know, grandfather's going to be a little baby, you know. So they were happy because there's no illness or there's nothing to worry about. It's just like a new plant growing or a flower blossoming, and no sorrow. And you know, I turned 80 at the beginning of this year, and I said, Sri Ram shouldn't listen to me. I said to God, okay, 80 years old, if I have to go at any time, I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and it'll be good. You know, there won't be anything bad happen. So they felt, or we felt when we were in those ages, the golden age and silver age, that going into a new body was an exciting thing for someone who's old to then go into a little baby and be cuddled and nursed and everything, you know, a new life coming. So there wasn't, we didn't say death. The word death is a word where it's used, you know, as something negative, but we never thought like that.
That we know, Sally. If you go, that will be definitely good. There's no point about that, or no doubt. But that would, but you are with us. That would be fantastic. So don't think about that. It will be very good. No worries. But having you with us, this is fantastic. So
So I always thought 80 was so old. You know, I thought that's, if that's the length of my life, I've done well. It's okay. If I have to go, I have to go, you know. So we just make the most of every situation that we can.
faith is saying, Sally,
Yes.
and having with the faith, she is saying you are with us for another 20 years at least. So that's her faith on that.
Thank you, Faye.
We really require good souls.
That's lovely. So, anything, shall we have the tree? So this is a picture of Golden Age. This is, it's only a picture. It's not like a photo of anything. It's just a picture of how there'll be water and trees, everything beautiful. And there were aeroplanes, like a little helicopter, and called Veman. And the Vemans, we sit inside them. We don't have to do any navigating. We just sit inside them. We have a thought where I want to go. Okay, I want to go and join the dancing here. And so I might be living over here or something. Get in the Veman. The Veman can read my thoughts. That's, you know, amazing scientific things in the golden and silver age. So we can look forward to that. And even a child could drive the Beeman by just sitting in it and thinking of where they wanted to go. and the demons are shaped like animals or birds to entertain us. And so that it's just a picture, but we will all dance and we'll all sing, and you know, everything will be very blissful. So, oh, there's Lakshmi and Narayan. So they're the emperor and empress, and he is the lion lying down with the lamb, and everyone is friendly, and the fruit on the tree, as we walk towards the tree and we start to put our hand out, the tree drops the fruit in our hand. So it's like we don't have to pick it, we don't have any violence, so we don't have to do anything. We just, it's all exactly in the right time. So this is, what are the qualities? No. This is the tree. So we're all sitting here meditating. Here's Mama and Baba. That's, I'll tell you about them after. And then the trunk of the tree is the golden and silver age. The golden age represented by the sun, the silver age represented by the moon. And the trunk is solid and strong and supportive and everything. And that's no evil, no bad word, not for 2,500 years, not one criticism. So how should we be now? If we want to be like that in the golden and silver age, we have to start practicing now. And we can be, that's why I say to people, if you meditate, slow down. Slow down, because we have to think, we have to be a step ahead of ourselves in our thinking, a step ahead of ourselves in our thinking. Because if someone does something wrong and I'm just about to criticize them, I can remember, no, who am I? World benefactor. I'll say something kind or something supportive of that person. But I can only do it if I slow down. If I do everything in a rush, it'll come out without me wanting it to. So for 2,500 years, I don't know anything but kindness. Not people are only kind to me and I'm only kind to them. Then starts to be here, Abraham, in the Jewish religion. He starts to think of things that are happening wrong and how to put them right, and his prayer is all to God. And then here is Buddha. This is in chronological order. And then is Christ with the Christian. And then there's the sannyasis. The sannyasis, they leave their home and family when they're 60, and they go up into the jungle and they don't own anything, they've got nothing, and that's the teaching of renunciation, you know, renouncing everything. And then here is the Muslims, Mohammed, and Mohammed never let anyone take a photo of him, so he's represented by the Quran, which is the religious book. And then in the Iron Age, we have one religion that's in the Iron Age, and that's the Sikh religion. And that teaches people to give and to be kind and everything. So all the religions help to make the world a better place than it would be without them. But unfortunately, some people in the different religions, they don't cooperate with other religions. But the way that good people in any of those religions will give utmost respect to others, you know? it's not for them, like their religion is for them, but they'll have good relationships with all the other religions. And the Iron Age gets worse and worse, and bombs and murders and everything. So one thing which not very nice, when I was teaching at school, we had to explain to the students about rape and things like that. And I was presenting it like that it's a bad thing, and how we have to be careful and we have to make the right decisions and everything like that. And then one boy put his hand up, and I said, yes, you know, what did you want to say? And he said, I was born when my mother was raped by someone. And I felt so bad, I didn't know what to say. And I said, you know, good can come from everything and anything, you know? So we have to know things are bad, but we have to also look at things that can come good from even something that's bad. So,
Sally,
yeah.
Faith is writing a kind of question and come with the answer also, which is what age are we in now? Dot dot dot. At the end of Iron Age, having question mark.
It's the confluence age. So the confluence age is a very small age. So it's the time when God gives us the knowledge, but at the same time, the Iron Age is at its worst. It's like the confluence age is on top of the Iron Age. So here's the little confluence age, which is about 100 years, and underneath that is the Iron Age still going. But the confluence age is where God comes and he takes a body, because he can't come down as a point of light. He has to take a body, and so he takes a body, which is Brahma Baba, which is picture over there. And Brahma Baba, he was a very well respected jeweler. And this is where people knew him in this birth, and they said you couldn't find fault with him. He was so kind and so good and very simple. Simplicity is a very good quality. And so he never went out of India. Even though he was a multimillionaire, he never left India. And so he was very well respected. If people were having a party and he wasn't there, they wouldn't start the party until he arrived. And, you know, when he spoke, they would all stand up and things like that, which, you know, they couldn't explain why they were doing it. But he was just so respected. Anyway, one day he went into a room at a party, he went into a room and he saw that room all as red light. And his daughter-in-law, she was walking past and she looked in and she saw it all red too, the room. But then she didn't see, he had a vision, and in that vision, he saw destruction or the cleansing of the world. So there was fires, like the bushfires we had here last year, you know, bad like that. If that was over the whole earth, the earth would have been finished. And so he saw this fire and tidal waves. And in those days, there hadn't been anything like the tsunami. We had never experienced anything like the tsunami. So he didn't know, what's this? Like, if someone drops a bomb in the ocean, it affects the water so much that the water just goes over the land. And so that will happen too. Australia, Nostradamus, if you've heard of him, hundreds of years ago, he foresaw the future, and he said that Australia will go under one tidal wave. So it's actually a good thing. There won't be that much suffering. Just one tidal wave will be so huge that it'll cover everything. And so all these things, um, anyway, so Brahma Baba saw all this, and his name wasn't Brahma Baba at that time. He was Dada Lacrage, and he screamed and he said, "Stop, stop, I can't take this, I can't take this." And then he saw the vision like you saw before of the golden age, and he saw a vision like that, and he realized good was going to come, because it sounds silly, but when there's billions of people on earth, billions, and when the souls all go up to the soul world, those bodies will act as a fertilizer, and the whole earth will be so fertile because of billions of bodies, and it'll be beautiful like this. But so Baba, Shiv Baba, he came in the body of Brahma, and people who saw Brahma Baba, they had a vision of Krishna, who they thought was God, or they had a vision of Vishnu, who they thought was God. And he couldn't understand what's happening. He's saying, why are they having these visions of me? I'm just a jeweler. I'm not anything to do with that. But he came to realize it took many years, but all this knowledge, Shiv Baba, God, was giving him all this knowledge, and was sitting here in his where his soul is. The two souls were sitting there, and so people were confused about seeing him as God and all this, but he didn't give them much knowledge. He just let them play and have fun and everything, and bit by bit they started to realize that it was God speaking, but the Brahma Baba wasn't God. You know, it was a difficult thing for them to comprehend at first. But there are many people now that are alive who were there at that time, and they recall all these things that happened. And he was amazing, Brahma Baba. But Shiv Baba was sitting in there, and he used to take the children for walks every day along the beach and play with them and everything. But at the same time, he was teaching meditation and love and peace and all of that. And so I've been 32 years studying this knowledge, older than what Sri Ram is, older than his age for longer. But I just know that every day I'm learning something new. It's amazing. And I asked Sri Ram, I asked him what made his parents call him that name, because Sri means elevated and Ram means God. It's a name for God. And I said, how come they called you that? And he said they wanted, whenever anyone said his name, his parents wanted to remind them about God. So every time they say Sri Ram, they're saying elevated God. So they have to remember God. So, you know, it's like there's so many things happening, amazing things. But I love this tree. I love because it everything is in it. It tells the whole story of the 5,000 years. But two and a half is up to there, 2,500, and the other 2.5 is up here. And now it's coming to the end. And this is the soul world, which is a golden red light, where we stay in bliss. And we don't know how long we stay there, because there's no time there. It's a timeless place.
So Faith is having question
Yes?
about when you said the confluence age is 100 year. So she's saying, so we have about 100 years before we blow up.
No, we haven't
Huh?
got 100 yet. It's already been, how long has it been? 84. It's already been 84 years. So there's not much to go. So we don't know exactly how many years it'll be, but it's only a small time. And so we have to be so loving. It's like, if we think we can be this loving, we have to be more, you know? And as for, we can find something good in everyone. And I think I told you that story about in India, no, in Africa, if someone commits a crime, they have them in the middle of the town. They don't have any uh, jails or anything like that. They just have the person in the middle, and all the women and men and dogs and cats and children and everyone makes a circle around them, and everyone says lovely things about them. Everything they can think of, like even it might be last year he smiled at me, or, you know, it doesn't matter how small the thing is, they keep saying good things until there's nothing left to say, and then quietly they just go to their homes. They don't say anything. And that person is left there to think about how all the people remembered good things about him. And he's much more likely not to commit crime because of that than if he would be put in jail. And in jail, often people come out worse. So we can think ourselves, what is something good I can say about everyone, anyone, and then that will help them. So what happened? Is there anything I need to answer? Any questions? What we show now is the time now, the confluence age, is the time when the Supreme Soul, uh, he was speaking to Brahma Baba internally, or putting ideas in his head, what to say. And so Brahma Baba wrote out all these classes, and every morning we have a class. So you've got one more lesson to do of this, and then after that, if you want, either you can go to a center and listen to the classes every day, or we can connect you online. And what happens is from Monday till Saturday, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have what's called the Sakar Murli. And Sakar means in the body. And so the Sakar Murlis were spoken with Shiv Baba, with God, next to Brahma Baba. Oh, and Brahma Baba's name was changed to Brahma Baba. And Brahma actually means creator, and it's because he was the one who was the first one. And he will be Narayan, he will be Krishna, the first prince, and when he gets to a certain age, he he changes his name at his coronation. It's a lot for you to remember, but you pick it up as you go, because Baba talks about it a lot, that he changes into Narayan, and his wedding and his coronation is at the same time he changes. And so all the Murlis, Murli means the flute. And so every morning we have a Murli class, and we think it's like the flute. It's light and it's beautiful, and we learn a lot from it. And on Sundays, we have an Avyak Murli, and Avyak Murli means one that was spoken after Brahma Baba had left the body. He was in his 90s and he left the body. And so Shiv Baba, then he still had to go through Brahma Baba because Brahma Baba was the number one. He still had to go through him, but he had to work out how the two of them could go through someone else. And he found this beautiful soul whose name is Daddy Gulzar, very, very innocent, very, very pure and beautiful. And so the both Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba now come through Daddy Gulzar. So that's a picture of her there. She says, why speak when you can convey far more through silence? So she's very quiet. She hardly speaks anything, but anything she speaks is uplifting. And now there's no new Murlis coming, but it's good because we still hear the old ones every day. And so we can connect you after next week. We have a Murli at 6 o'clock, and that's we have every day. We can connect you to that, or we have one at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we can connect you to either of those if you're interested, and you'll be with the others. You'll meet, there's a group of people. So, and so that's, we have the Murlis, the Sakha Murli, and then the Abhyakt Murli we have on a Sunday. And they're different. The Sakha Murlis, Baba talks about things that Brahma Baba would know, like different situations, some political things, like when Pakistan and India were at war fighting, you know. He talks about that, or he talks about Gandhi, talks about different things that are happening. Whereas in the Abhyakt Murlis, they're more about how to behave, you know, how your dana, how you live your life, and not so much about things that are happening in the world. But they're both Murlis are very beautiful.
Sally ji, Faith ji and Preeti ji saying we would like to join that Murlis after finish our course.
Wonderful.
So
That's
I think
lovely.
you will be explain more in next session about the
Yes,
Murli and what is dharana, what is knowledge, what is
yes,
lifestyle of Brahma Kumaris,
yes.
right?
Next week we're doing about the lifestyle, you know, the way we live our life, different things, different practices that we have, and different things that are happening around the world to do with the Brahma Kumaris. And
So,
well, uh,
today would you like to finish with some
with the
meditation, Sally?
meditation, yes,
And would you like to give them some homework?
yes.
Because there's beautiful questions though, I can
Yeah,
hear that
very good
also.
question.
And because
Very
I
good.
can feel they all are going into it a lot and feeling so
It's
satisfied
lovely.
with the solutions also.
Yeah, very lovely.
So, because we are going to meet them again for next week, so would you
Yes.
like to give them something to work on it?
I'll give you some homework. So choose a particular quality, you know, or virtue, something, you know, like patience or tolerance, kindness. What else could be? Acceptance, trust. Any virtue, choose one, and in the next week, see how you can make it grow. So It might be one you really like, or it might be one you find difficult. It doesn't matter, whichever you want. But report back to us all next week how you made it grow. Like tell us certain situations, you know, and we'll be interested to see, and we'll do the same thing. We'll also take a particular quality and work on it. And
So,
you can jot down notes, how you're getting on, what happened, so you don't forget for next week.
so Kalyani is also saying I will be also interested to listen the Murlis in future.
I'm very happy.
And Faith is choosing a virtue of faith.
Faith is a good quality, yes. So your parents, they wanted you to have faith too, and that's why they called you that name, because it's a special quality. Very good. So we'll have a little meditation to finish with. So I can just speak one. Yeah. All right. So I sit comfortably, gently focus my eyes on the point of light, which is myself and also the Supreme Soul, my mother, my father, my teacher, my friend, my guide. I feel happy, content, satisfied. Whatever I need to know will come to me. I look forward to the next birth, and I will come as a child in the golden age, spend 2,500 years in bliss and happiness in the golden age, the silver age. I feel warm, comfortable, full of wonder, and I'll enter the copper age. Something goes wrong. I feel something not so good, but then good happens. I remember Shiv Baba. I remember a memory comes back to me of the Supreme Soul, and I build temples to the Supreme Soul and worship Him. And then I get caught up in more negativity, more difficulties, and I start to worship the deities, and I start to worship other people, and I get a little bit off track. But still, I have a memory of being a good person who cares and wants to give. And then the Copper Age goes past with such love for God, such devotion. And then the Iron Age comes, where I feel completely despair and frustration, annoyance. I feel unhappy. Things are difficult. And then somehow I get in touch with the real God, the God who is nothing but love, who is only love. My life starts to change. I feel full of enthusiasm for what I can become. And even though there's not much time left, there is time for me to change. This is the time for me to change. In the confluence of age comes the age where God comes down to earth and sits incognito in the body of Brahma and recreates the whole world from its lowest to its highest. I feel at ease, happy to be me, ready to bring goodness and peace to the earth, and eager to look forward to hearing the Murlis, the words of God. So I go about my daily activities now, feeling that the Supreme Soul, my Father, my Mother, my teacher, my friend, has found me out of millions and billions of people. He has found me and chosen me to spread goodness in this world. Om Shanti. I, the soul, am peace. I, the soul, am love. I, the soul, am a benefactor, a bestower, someone who gives. I'm so fortunate to be me. Om Shanti. So we'll see you next week, next Tuesday will be our last lesson. We'll be learning about the lifestyle, spiritual lifestyle. So if you can think of any questions, bring them next week and we'll see how we can answer them. And we look forward to you sharing with us the Murli in the mornings. And you're learning all the time. So every day there's more to learn. So you never ever come to the end of learning. It's a very exciting life because it keeps on getting better. Each day gets better. So thank you very much. And Faith will send you last week's lesson. And then we'll all be here together for next week.
Thank you, Ali and Priya. Thank you so much for both of you. Appreciate your assistance, guidance, and precious time. Precious time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. You wait.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
See you, pretty. Hope we can see you next time. I hope you're there with your camera.